Hey guys, Island Homesteader here. So if you saw my last beekeeping video, you know that I had an extra queen left over from those two that I bought, thinking that I needed two to requeen with. And I took one of them, put them in the hive that needed it, and then the other I made a little homemade nuke, and that's what I'm going to show you. I didn't have a bottom board or a top or an inner cover or anything, so I made it for this little nuke right here. Actually, it's a 10 frame box, and I just cut a piece of plywood a little smaller than the outside of the bottom so that rain wouldn't channel inside, and I nailed that in. I actually cut 3 holes in it with a 2 3/4 inch hole saw. And stapled screen on both sides, and then I cut thin strips of cedar shake like you'd put on your on the side of your house as a siding. I cut thin strips of that to make an angle, to make a top entrance, and I'll show you that here when I get the stuff off. I put that dead pampas grass in the front so that the bees would reorient themselves, the ones that I took out of that hive. I took 2 frames of capped brood, and might have had a little bit of open brood in it, but it was mainly capped. 2 frames of capped brood and all the bees that were on those 2 frames there today, and put them in there with her. I'm going to go in there and look and see how they look, and I might be letting her out, or at least take the cork off the candy in. I didn't take the cork off yet because the attendants in there with her already half chewed through it, so I wanted to make sure she was in there long enough for those guys to get, or those gals actually, to get used to her. Alright, let me open this thing up and I'll show you what it looks like inside. Okay, if you can see up under there, what cutting that shim with that cedar shake did was create a top entrance. And that's just a piece of regular untreated plywood. I cut it an inch. I cut it big enough for an inch overhang on the sides and the back, and 2 inches in the front, just to try to keep rain out. We had a tropical storm coming through a day after I guess I did this, with a lot of rain, so I wanted to make sure it stayed as dry as possible. Okay, and here's what the inside looks like. I got to work quick. I didn't bring any smoke. I just plan on going in and taking a cork out of that queen cage. But you can see here's the cedar shake, the way it goes down to nothing down here at this end, and then gets thicker up here at this end. That's what holds the front of the plywood open to give it that top entrance. So there she is down in there. These are hanging out pretty good. So let me get the cage out and get that cork out. Okay, she is, I took the cork out of the candy end. They were all on top of that cage trying to chew at it, so I went in and got the cork out. It's difficult to get a cork out of there after you've already rubber banded the cage, and I've never done that before. I've always taken the cork out before, but a little difficult with bees crawling all over it. But I got the cork out, so I'm sure they'll have her out of there in no time. Plenty of bees look like they hung out. So as soon as she gets out of there, and she's got plenty of empty comb in there to get out and start laying on right away, and then they've got about what, 5 empty frames, 5 or 6 empty frames to go ahead and start drawing comb out. So that's I'll come back in a couple days and just make sure they got her out of the cage, and then I'll get the cage out of there and straighten the frames up and take that grass off of there, and hopefully that will be successful hive number 4. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like this video and want to see more videos like it. Subscribe to follow along and see what I'm doing. Comment, let me know what you thought, good or bad. God bless.